Alex Brew, thank you so much for inviting me to your favorite bar, which is called Tirnanog, Indonesia.
Yeah, yeah. When you said to me, Gary, anywhere in the world, I was thinking beyond my local in London, and I thought back to this place, which I think I stayed in for almost a month when I was traveling there. In the end, it was one of those places that we found a little bit difficult to leave, me and my best mate. Yeah, it's I've got some fond memories. But I think when I got a bit not depressed, got a bit sad when I looked at it. It's changed a lot by the looks of things. Very developed now, that place. It was a little shack on the beach next to the beach with a few huts. We stayed there, we drank there, we had some fantastic times. Yeah,
Probably
special
became
place in my heart.
probably became popular after people knew that you were there.
Yeah,
All that graffiti that you left on the walls and
exactly.
the
Yeah,
etchings and stuff. What's interesting is, yes, 2 points to make is that it's incredible for a little rock on the other side of the world that we've got bars everywhere, Irish. But Tirnanog, as you may or may not be aware, is the land of the young. So it certainly gives off that vibe, doesn't it?
yeah, I think so. And I was young. I'm old enough to say I was young when I was there,
And
probably like some 16 years ago, maybe something like
oh,
that.
oh, so you were five. Wow,
Yeah,
that's young.
exactly.
That's young.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's the only
And
place globally where it's legally to drink at 5 years old.
yeah,
Hence why I've
yeah.
taken that. No.
Although I did feel fantastic recently in North America, the age that I am, and they asked me for a card. I was carded at 56 to prove I was over 21. I felt good, man.
Yeah.
I felt, I felt wonderful, and I
I bet
kept
you
on
pulled
up.
out your passport, your
Oh,
driving
the
license.
whole lot.
Look at them all.
The whole thing. And I kept going up. If anybody wanted a drink, I'll get you a drink. I'll go up and get it. So you have to be careful what you wish for often. But like it looks like a type of place that it's a confluence point. It's not a beach.
It's on an island that was it was about a kilometre and a half in diameter. There was no motorized transport. It was banned. So the only way you could get around, I mean, you could walk pretty much anywhere. But they had little donkeys and carts as well if you were feeling a bit tired on your feet. And it was kind of there was just one side of the island that had a sort of a strip. So you kind of had a few, you know, restaurants, bars, hospitality places, and then a little cobbled street, and then just beach. And you would yeah, we pitched up. We'd heard about it. I'd read about it in a book. It's quite a common place to travel now, I think,
Okay.
for those that go to that part of the world. But I'd read about it and it sort of said, right, that's a place I want to go. Sounds like a just completely detached from the world and nice and isolated. And yeah, we got there, and I think initially we were planning on staying a few days and then moving on. And we found after three and a bit weeks, we thought we probably should go and see something else now. But yeah, it was phenomenal.
Deliver the wallet or whatever. One of them was going to have to go. So
We were paying about $5 a night to stay there, and the local beer was a beer called Bintang, and I think it was about the equivalent of about 20 cents for
okay.
a large bottle of it. Hence probably why we could stay there for so long.
And were you feeling all Leonardo DiCaprio like in the beach, and you were going out swimming for live fish and stuff, or any of that, or did you just?
There was you'd spend the days. Yeah, God, this makes you think, doesn't it? But no, yeah, we would spend the days snorkeling with turtles and diving on the reefs, and there was a couple of surf breaks at one point of the island, which I would be lying if we said we attempted that, but others did.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it was pure paradise, pure
That's
paradise.
it's wonderful because at that age or whatever you were, you didn't have an awful lot going on in your head that was
Yeah.
dragging you back into the real world. Or so.
You
So I
think you think back to
yeah, yeah,
just how carefree life was then.
yeah. But I need to just bring you back to one other point, which I find is amazing. Even though it's only 16 years ago, you used the word. I read it in a book.
Yeah.
What?
Which will, people that know me will make them laugh because I'm not the most well-read individual in
Yeah,
truth.
but
But
but you
yeah,
The internet never deletes, as you know, because you're building half of it. But your child is going to see this one day and go, "Dad, you're such a dinosaur." So
Well, that
listen, you
was
obviously read. Sorry, go ahead.
no. You good, you good. You good.
You obviously read though, or you have read. So what's your favorite quote?
So I was thinking about this one, and I was there was there was one that stuck with me, which was quite recent. I'm feeling it was probably a bit heavy early doors in this chat, but it was something that my was in the funeral pamphlet, my granddad's funeral, and he had a fantastic innings. We lost him back end of last year, and he was suffering from dementia in his final years. And there was kind of when he passed, they found quite a few random sort of scribblings and bits and pieces that notes he'd made to himself, and one of these was pasted on the back of this pamphlet, and it was, I won't read the whole thing, but it was the final line in it was, decide to be happy when you start your day, and it just stuck. You know, to think that there was a man that was grappling with the state of his mind for a few years, and he would just sit there and he would make notes to himself and of that nature, just to remind himself, you know, that he wakes up and his mind could be anywhere, and just to sort of, you know, frame himself for the start of the day. I thought, yeah, it's stuck with me ever since, in truth.
Besides,
decide to be happy when you start your day.
Good, isn't it?
It's simple, right?
Good.
It's simple. And you kind of can, I think, at the start of the day, right? The whole day can pan out, and there can be all sorts of stuff that's coming your way that can send it south. But you can make that conscious decision when you wake up. I just thought I really.
Do you know what, Alex? That's a cracker, because to your point, you know, you see these long mission statements from businesses and big long quotes and stuff, and you can never remember them. Whereas, decide to be happy. Yeah. It's a great way
to. Don't get me wrong, it's sentimental, of course. But
yeah, but it's an intent, isn't it? Now, everything could go very badly, as you say, very badly south. But for that 5 minutes before you allow yourself into the world, at least you can decide to be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and in your case, then you just open the door and you hear a young person.
Yeah, I heard 2-year-old screaming, yeah, and my other half wrestling him, and and then I think, well, you know, I had a minute of it, so
yeah, Alex, what now you can come back next year and tell us how it went. But when you're in those moments and your other half then are asking you to do stuff, you say, "No, I'm pretending to be happy. I've decided to be." I'll see how it goes, but no, it's just the simplicity of it and also the sentimentality of it. But I also think, man, my first mentor said to me, he said, "Garry, I don't actually know what you're going to think or be doing when you're just about to pass, but I can tell you won't be thinking the following things. I should have spent more time in the office, and I wonder how my shares are doing." You know, and honestly, I've lived sort of a little, not always adhering, but it's okay when you get those tiny little simplistic little things. Then that sort of, because there's all obviously those two things, there's a whole bookload of content around that, what it means spending all your time in the office or worrying about your shares, you know, when it comes down to it, like what your
like you say, it's not something you're going to look back on when you're reflecting on your life, right? Yeah.
Well, this is a happy chat all the same when we're in the land of the young, and we've brought you on a massive journey. So we're going to bring us back into modern time and your productivity tips. We could write a book. I'm actually thinking, Alex, that this could be a great book. Quotes and productivity tips with Alex.
I didn't quite realize I was signing up for that when you asked me for a Barstool Chat. But yeah, why not?
There you go. Who knows with these journeys? At least you turned up. So what's productivity? Give us an out productivity. How does Alex stay productive and motivated?
I think the big thing for me is surrounding yourself with good people. I think there's all sorts of tips for how you can be more productive within yourself, but the biggest sort of motivation for me is you know, it's often feeding off the energy of my team, my counterparts within my business, the colleagues that I work with. You get that same energy from your friends in a different capacity, of course, but that's a big motivator. Surround yourself with people that bring that energy that you can feed off, you know, because when you're well, I don't know, when you've got some excess level of stress, when times are a bit tough, whatever it may be, you've got that network of people that you can lean on, even without them knowing it, that just bring that extra level of support. They can carry you, they can lift you up, they can keep you on track. And productivity comes from that, because if you're motivated, you will strive to work harder, you'll apply yourself more. And and I think that for me, that's always been a big thing. So ever since I started sort of more management orientated jobs and starting to get bigger teams, that investment in making sure that you're surrounding yourself with talented people, but also fun people that are kind of, that you enjoy spending that time with, you'll all kind of elevate yourselves together. That's a big aspect of it, I think, for me. And then on the singular productivity piece, plan. I think we've got, I'm part of quite a big team, and simple things like how you approach. We at the start of the year, we planned out our entire year in terms of meetings, and it just provides a tremendous level of structure to how you can work. And with that sort of structure in place comes kind of a more defined commonality in terms of language, and you just realize that the efficiency in which you can operate as a collective team, good people, good energy, well structured, and synchronized, can just mean that your productivity rates can soar. That's probably what I would say. In my limited wisdom.
I'm getting a vibe, and I think that there's a level of a love of sport of all sorts from yourself, team sports, etc.
Generalist. I didn't, I'll be totally honest, I didn't excel at any one particular sport. The one I'm currently hooked on is golf, of all things, but I think that's fairly typical of someone who's now in their mid-30s and has a kid and needs an excuse to get out of the house at least once a week. So, we both know we're rugby fans, right? And and of course I follow the football as well. But
what's really interesting, and even if we look at golf and we look at the Ryder Cup there recently, was the planning that goes into that starts the day after the previous one.
Yeah.
The captain sets out milestones of meetings, because they play a very insular, in their own heads sport. So they can't just rock up the week of and become a team. So they have these team meetings every 3 months. And unfortunately, the people who are coming in and out are dependent on where they are in the pecking order, on the likelihood of playing. But that's the planning thing you were talking about. The certainty of dates. And I really like what you're saying there. It's certainly not a discipline that I hold, is that a lot of people like to have a North Star. They even if you don't make it, they like to have that North Star, even if it's crazy and ambitious and too much. And I guess that's you're demonstrating the level of leadership that you realize that, whilst it may not be your natural instinct, but the collective is the best thing to do.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you can cultivate, that kind of mindset of people here, striving for that North Star, collectively going above and beyond what may already be very ambitious goals, then, either you'll build such strong foundations in terms of, if some aspect is struggling, the other will be going great guns and can offset, or you'll just have collective success and overachievement, and people feed off of that, they thrive off of that.
Yeah. And you do find with sport, don't you, when you see the really good teams and the really successful, they seem to like each other. They hang out with each other. Yeah. Success breeds this, I can forget about all your picking your nose and picking your ear stuff. Once you're successful, it seems to drive you on. And I guess the other thing that I observe is you attract people who want to be part of that gig. They want to be part of that
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Try and show your humility. I think, it's kind of it's I think personality is such a big aspect of business these days, and people need to understand you
yeah,
if they need to know that there's an individual that I think I can get on with, that I think I can work with, work alongside, or can work for me. And I sort of be open with who you are.
I really,
Um,
I really like that point you're making, and you've reinforced to me because I actually am erring towards that personality is becoming less interpersonal skills. It's becoming less of a thing that there's a tendency now. I'll do it on Zoom or I'll do it on an email or I'll do it in this. And maybe I'm old school, but I'm so glad to see a dude like you who's next generation saying, listen, when you're trying to get stuff, particularly issues, there's nothing like, is there, getting in a room, meeting people. And is that, in your opinion, still where the hard yards of getting to know the team that they support or where they are? And that's where it all helps, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. We kind of, we Zoom and Teams and everything. It's so easy, right? It's so efficient. But I mean, we had an example this year where there was one particular meeting that we ran on a monthly basis, and for whatever reason, we did it face to face for a change. And
Yeah,
oh my god! And it's a full day affair, lots of different people contributing, and we started doing it in the pandemic, and we
great.
just never took it off a team. Then we
Yeah,
did,
yeah,
and it was a totally different, you know, meeting, the output, the engagement.
yeah,
It was it really elevated it. And as a result, we sort of said, well, okay, we can't coordinate, it's too much to coordinate this on a monthly basis, but let's try and do it once a quarter.
yeah. And
Because actually, it was just beneficial for everybody, far more so than doing it virtually.
you
So
nearly
yeah,
look forward to it. You nearly look forward to it.
yeah,
You,
correct.
you nearly
Correct.
look forward to it, which is obviously as well a big part of the whole teamwork thing. If you're just so bored of listening to same people, it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
Um,
But meetings just become about reporting, you know.
yeah,
It's just about sharing of information, sharing of data, and you lose that
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
that other aspect, that deeper kind of meaning that you can get from a stronger level of collaboration, and kind of just physically being there in the room.
yeah.
You can't be looking at another screen that's over here.
No, you know what
Every day.
you know what I noticed recently? We had a gathering. Oh, you were here. You were in Dublin, and there
Yeah,
was people. There were some people I met for the first time in 2, 3 years, and the first thing I observed was, "Geez, you're much taller than I thought. Oh, you're much smaller than I thought. Oh, you've far more hair than I thought." Because all I see, when you see just a torso, and
yeah,
actually you can use it as a sort of, you nearly hug each other when you see someone that you've known or you think you've known. But listen, Alex, it's been short and sharp. We've gone to Indonesia, we've come back, we've spoken quite deep, quite narrow at times. But I love your granddad's scribble. Yeah, decide
yeah. Decide
to be happy.
Simple, yeah. Decide to be happy when you start your day. Right?
Decide to be happy. I just can't think of a better way to end the episode. So thank you so much, Alex Brew.
No, you're welcome. It was a pleasure, Garry.
It's been real fun. Thank you so much.